What could kill you in your daily life that people don't even understand it's that dangerous? There was a story 2 years ago of a woman who was struck and killed by a beach umbrella that wasn't fastened down properly while vacationing in Virginia Beach. The wind picked the umbrella up and it landed on her chest as she walked by. Worst of all, this was on her birthday and marriage anniversary. Ladders. There's a surprising amount of fatalities from people falling off ladders every year. There have to be at least 100 stories of fatalities, people getting maimed, injuries, or at best lucky close calls in response to this post. I've read them all and some of it is downright tragic. Be careful people, and don't let your boss browbeat you into using a ladder when you shouldn't, rickety ladder, too short for the job, on a slippery surface, etc.
Hey guys, much like you, I love reading people's stories on Ask Reddit. Unfortunately, there's a lot of weird middle school level, just thought experiment type hypotheticals like nice try Baskin Robbins. I don't find this compelling, so that's why I've made it my mission to trawl and crawl through Ask Reddit and find the very best content and put it in your ears. That's why I'm begging you, like and subscribe. If there's anything I can do to help you out, give you the kind of content that you crave to help you get through your workday, let me know in a comment. But please like and subscribe.
Hydraulics. If you work in industry, you're constantly around hydraulics containing hundreds of psi of a heavy, non-compressible fluid that requires zero licensing or specific training to work on. Just as potentially dangerous as electricity without many understanding just how hazardous it can be. Brain aneurysms, Archer jokes aside. A family friend was completing nursing school, went to bed with a headache and never woke up. I don't think she was older than 23, really sad. Edit from Uthespinks. PSA, if you or anyone around you ever have as a non-trauma instant headache and can describe it as worst headache I've ever had, immediately have someone drive you to the ER and describe it to the admission nurse exactly with that phrase. They won't fuck around and they will immediately get you in for scans. Falling. From any height including on level ground. You just have to hit your head in a particular way and that's it for you. One of my biggest fears is falling in the bathroom, hitting my head and dying. Then someone will have to retrieve my dead, naked and probably rotting body. So embarrassing. A park near where I live has huge signs that detail how many people drowned in the river that year. Apparently the river looks calm, but the undercurrent is very strong. People still drown despite the signs and the news articles about drownings. This is the Potomac River, for those curious. Also, a large number of people keep commenting about the Bolton Street, so I will just go ahead and mention that here as well. Someone else in the vehicle not wearing their seatbelt. A 200-pound passenger not wearing their seatbelt turns into a 200-pound sack of meat and bones flying around the cabin during a collision. If they smack into you, then you're fucked. Even if you don't respect your own safety and well-being, respect the safety and well-being of the other people in the car. Wear your seatbelt, wear your seatbelt, wear your fucking seatbelt. When my sister and I were children, we used to play hide and seek with our cousins. We could both fit in the dryer together. It's terrifying to think if we weren't found fast enough that there could have been 2 dead little girls in my aunt's dryer. Shit drives me insane. My ex used to do it with me in the car and then get mad at me when I told her to stop. But I'm really good at it. Cool, tell that to the person you hit because you just had to respond to a text about some meaningless aspect of someone's life. Holy shit, I remember everybody freaking the fuck out about that. I was there visiting relatives and we started bringing coffee cans to fill with sand. So people are telling me this is BS. That may be true. The adults kind of unanimously decided that it was the thing to do, so friends did it, and we ended up with us and the other people who were going with us bringing coffee cans. I made sound like it was a bunch of other people. My bad. Also people to we. Dunno why I said that, but it was my family and other related groups.
I turned 36 this year and I decided to focus on my physical fitness, so I bought a swim club membership. The only problem was, most of the time when I go swimming, I wind up getting an ear infection. So it turns out that normal earplugs, they kind of irritate your ear canal, they don't really work, they don't keep the water out, but there is an amazing kind of earplug called Mack soft silicone earplugs that, they feel great, they keep the water out 100%, they're reusable, and they don't irritate your ear canal at all, no issues. If you've ever had a severe ear infection, you don't want to experience that again. It can permanently damage your hearing if you're unlucky. So investing in these earplugs is definitely a good idea. Also, when my baby was crying later this year and I could not get to sleep, I used the same earplugs and they worked great. I was able to sleep right next to a crying baby. So be sure to click my affiliate link and purchase some of these Mack's earplugs today.
Just to tack another point onto this, and something my dad would always tell me when I was learning how to drive. It doesn't really matter if you have the right of way, or if a potential accident would be the other person's fault. You'd still have a wrecked car. Read somewhere about a small lake that formed in a quarry. The chemicals that made the lake a bright vibrant blue also made it very, very toxic to humans. Locals put up lots of signs warning of the dangers, but people still swam in the gorgeous blue waters and then would get really sick. So they just dyed the pool black, and nobody has swam in it since. People are stupid. No. If you're dehydrated, which is what you are when you are hungover, you will be destroying your kidneys, essentially putting them into temporary kidney failure. Best thing you can do is drink Gatorade and food is tolerated. NSAIDs are nephrotoxic. Blood vessels in the kidney have a cool way of changing blood flow to filter your blood. When you are dehydrated, they basically dilate the inflow and narrow the outflow blood vessels to increase filtration pressure. Taking NSAIDs blocks that ability to dilate the inflow, afferent, blood vessels, so you lose filtration pressure, rendering your kidneys useless. It's temporary, but can damage your kidneys drastically over time. This isn't something in most people's daily life, but I'm a type 1 diabetic and I have an insulin pump. If someone pulls it out, or breaks the cord the insulin goes through, and I have no extra insulin, in vials or something, then he'll die within a day or two. I once had a kid cut the cord of my insulin pump with scissors. I had to leave my school and go home to get a new one as quickly as possible. Smoldering ashes. Ashes can smolder for hours, and you won't even notice. I have a 2-stage system for outside ashtrays, and a safe spot for the grill to cool down overnight. Never take chances with any form of fire. Speaking of, dryer lint, clean out your lint trap, clean out the exhaust point for your dryer, and check that everything is working properly. Diabetes. Had a friend die the year after high school from diabetes no one knew he had. Everyone said the only possibilities was some sort of accident, as we'd all seen him only weeks prior and he was healthy then, plus you could not like the guy, no way anyone would ever kill him. Was shocked to say the least when I found out he died of diabetes. Sounds like a very painful way to go. When I was in college, a random student died in his sleep for reasons unknown. His roommate wasn't the one that found him though, unfortunately. It was his girlfriend who woke up next to his lifeless corpse. Feel bad for her, that's gotta be some pretty traumatic shit. I have sleep apnea and doctors blame my high blood pressure on that. Sleep apnea, for those unaware, means that you stop breathing in your sleep. That prevents getting to REM if you stay asleep. Often you'll wake up from not breathing. My diet is fine and I get plenty exercise. I just don't sleep well. I had a surgery that removed my tonsils and part of the uvula to open the airway, and that has helped. Before the surgery they had me using a CPAP. I slept even worse with a bunch of stuff strapped to my face and fell asleep driving. I guess the lack of sleep will just slowly kill me. I saw a picture on Instagram with the caption "Super Mommy" of a woman feeding her baby while driving. So in her right hand she had the bottle, in her left the phone, and she's driving. Feeding the kid alone is bad enough, but no, the internet must absolutely. No. Not much of a super anything except fucking retard. Pool drains. I have the worst fear of pool drains, especially the large square drains, because in 2000, I got stuck to a massive square drain the size of a door at the bottom of a community pool when it accidentally turned on. Luckily, the lifeguard immediately jumped into action and had the drain turned off. They had to cut out my hair and I had the worst posh spice bob for the rest of 5th grade. In most recent years, due to several pool drain related deaths, I've read that pool drain covers have to be dome-like and there are 2 drain systems, so if someone gets stuck on one drain, the suction goes to the other drain. I have a slight obsession with looking up pool drain safety these days.
Hey guys, do you ever have a problem getting to sleep at night? Well, I've got the magic pill to cure your insomnia. Much like you, I used to twist and turn all night. But then I discovered that you can take melatonin and Valerian Root together to get a good night's sleep every single night. I've been taking it every night by for years and years. I've been taking Valerian and melatonin, and this is my life hack to get a good night's sleep and vivid dreams every night. So be sure to click my affiliate links, and I will give you the gift of a good night's sleep.
Bingo. I worked at a park with a big waterfall and dangerous, hidden currents. We would routinely catch people above the falls hanging around. This involved crossing 2 fence lines and many signs. They claim they don't see them. Signs don't register to people. Also, parks are always looking for volunteers. Just ask. Believe it or not, there is worse. Recently-ish on the news there was a dad who was living with his 2 young daughters, just those 3, they were aged about 5 or 6. He died overnight in his sleep, he was only in his 30s, and the poor kids didn't know what is going on. They were locked in the house with their dad who wouldn't wake up. They tried putting table spills in his mouth to make him better as they knew something was wrong. Frown. Was pretty heartbreaking. Emergency services found them in the house after a few days, I think. This is all from memory, so a few details could be wrong, but the pills in his mouth by the kids is accurate, as I remember being heartbroken by it. Found the case. If you're really unlucky, brain-eating worms that can be found in water out of the hose. A 12-month-old baby was playing in his shell pool in my state. A garden hose his mom had given him. 3 days later he was gone. From my understanding you can get them from swimming pools too. In the military we had to do rollover training for in case a vehicle was flipped, by an ide or whatnot. One of the things you learn very quickly is to strap everything down, because it all turns into projectiles when the vehicle flips. Even if it doesn't hit you, trying to move stuff out of your way while trying to drag yourself out of a flipped vehicle, with bruises or broken bodies, is going to be difficult. Tylenol is paracetamol, acetaminophen for the Americans, right? I work in acute medicine, and am continuously baffled by the number of people I end up treating for accidental odds who don't know you can overdose on it and just knock it back like sweeties. It's a popular suicide method for a reason, although it's a horrible way to die. It kills you by causing fulminant liver failure, doesn't make you bleed out, except in a roundabout way since the liver makes your clotting factors, which is slow and agonizing.
If there's ever a fly, or a mosquito, or like a yellow jacket, or some weird unknown insect in my house, my wife will not leave me alone until it is dead, and she will blame me personally for having a house that an insect entered. The only way that I'm able to buy peace for myself so that I can work on this YouTube channel that you enjoy is by using an electric fly swatter with an affiliate link in the description. The way this fly swatter works is that you hold down the little button and then you whack the fly as if it were a tennis ball, and it looks like a tennis racket. And what the electricity does is it stuns the insect or kills it so that you can clean it up easily. And the fact that it's a tennis racket gives you a much better chance of actually hitting the insect. And I found it invaluable, and I hope that you will decide to also use it in your home. And, if you're like a teenage boy, you can also whack other teenage boys with it. We used to do that in the Boy Scouts.